Yo, what up, y'all, man? Listen, today we gonna talk a little bit. We gonna give y'all some game on charge-offs versus collections, right? So charge-off versus collection accounts. What's the difference and how do they affect your credit score? So first, a charge-off account is when an original creditor pretty much takes that account as a loss, right? They take it as a profit and loss. They don't feel like they're going to get the funds for this account. Now, remember, the original creditor still owns the account. This is key. This happens when you default on a debt. All right, so say you done missed about 5, 6 payments with a credit card. The company, they're like, listen, we're not going to get the funds for this account. However, you want to get back in good graces with this company, which we're going to get into, right? Now, with a collection account is when the original creditor decides to sell the debt to a third party. Once that debt is sold to a third party, a lot of times you start to get letters in the mail. You start to get letters in the mail and different things of that nature where they're pretty much just trying to collect this debt. But one thing about a charge on paying a collection account, and this is why you hear people say it doesn't help your credit score to pay a collection, is because the actual balance of a collection is not reported on your FICO score. What affects your score is the incident itself, right? Is the defaulted payment. So now, when you have a charged off account, you have the opportunity, and I'll explain this to some of my clients. You have the opportunity to actually get back into good graces, and you can pay that charge off account. And sometimes the actual creditor would say, hey, we'll remove this negative trade line from your credit report just because you made that payment, right? Now understand this. A lot of times it becomes a charge off first. Over time, then now that debt is sold to a third party and it becomes a collection, right? Now both is negative, right? Both do not benefit your credit score. However, a paid charge off looks better and cleaner on your credit report more than a collection account or unpaid charge off, right? But the thing is that we want to do as less damage as possible, right? I always talk to you guys about stopping the bleeding, right? We want to stop the bleeding. And the thing about it is, and I spoke about this in another video, is accountability, right? If you're going to go apply for a mortgage, if you're going to go apply for any type of loan, and they're going to view the data and they're going to look at the account details. If they see that, okay, this person made a mistake, especially if you only have like one collection, one charge off or one collection on your report, and they say, okay, I see this person made an effort. They went to go, pay the account back. They made the payment in full. It looks cleaner to the person reviewing your credit report, right? Also, the newer the charge off, the more it affects your credit score. The same thing with a collection. The newer the collection, the more it is going to affect your score. The older the collection, the less effects it has. Now, both is negative, but if you have a charge off account, you can settle, especially if it's a bank that say you may want to do business with down the line. You can settle that account. You can also ask for the deletion. You can also negotiate yourself, right? I just sent out I just sent out an email yesterday explaining to people. A lot of times when you hire like a debt relief company, and they say, yo, we can negotiate these debts for you. It's the same thing you can do for yourself. You can literally call up Mr. Collector, Mr. Lender, and say, hey, I want to negotiate this debt. This balance is $1,000. Will you guys be willing to accept X, Y, and Z? and then they'll give you an answer of a yes or a no. But what I explain to people is it's always worth a try. Now, our biggest goal, here is we want to avoid collection accounts. We want to avoid late payments. We want to avoid charge-offs, right? So the best way to do that is to keep up with our credit profile. We have to keep up with our credit profile. We have to make sure that we are making on-time payments. We have to make sure that we are avoiding late payments as much as possible, because eventually, as you default and time goes on, these companies still like, hey man, I'm not going to get my money, and we're going to sell the debt. Why? Because I'm going to still get some type of money by selling the debt, and then the collector is coming after you. The collector is harassing you, right? So in order for us to avoid that, man, we must stay on top of our credit. We must make sure we are paying. And also, lastly, we must make sure that we are not biting off more than we can chew, right? Don't just apply for 20 different accounts all at one time and go crazy and spending the credit. Because not only does these accounts accumulate interest as we maintain a balance, but it could get you in a sticky situation if your financial situation change, right? Your financial could change for a lot of reasons. Your financial situation could change because you had a kid, you lost a job. You know what I mean? Anything where your money just got a little bit of funny can cause you to not be able to pay these accounts. So we want to make sure that we are paying what we can pay. We are handling what we can handle, right? Don't try to bite off more you can chew again. And we just want to stay in good graces with these companies, but we want to be accountable when it comes to our charge-off accounts. The disputing process is much different, but specifically, I want to tell you guys that it is not necessarily a bad thing to settle accounts, especially if it is a new charge-off or a recent collection. You can request a pay for delete. Some collectors will agree, some collectors won't, but it never hurts to ask. I tell you guys this all the time, but the number one thing that you do not want to do is avoid the debt. Do not avoid the debt. Stop the bleeding, man. And I'm going to see you guys on the other side. If you need a free consultation, go to preciouscredit.net and we got you. Peace.